We've been around since 2004. And in 2004, if I remember correctly, there was not even a MySpace back then, let alone Facebook, no Twitter. I don't even remember YouTube being around. But as you can see in our company name, we are a .com. And it's very few companies in existence that their legal name is a .com. Can anybody tell me one company that's very famous around the world whose legal name is a .com? I know every single one of you guys know this answer, but you may not know the story behind Amazon.com.
Amazon.com.
That's their legal name. Their legal name is not Amazon, right? It's Amazon.com. And they wanted their legal name to be a .com for a very specific reason, because they knew that the internet was going to be awesome when they created their company way back in the day. And it's a similar concept to us. Way back in the day in 2004, when it was the real rise of the internet, people were comfortable getting on the internet with the computer. There was no such thing as smartphones. We said, hey, one day people will go to the internet to look at homes. And back then there was no Redfin. I want to say there was no, actually no, Redfin popped up in October of 2002 out of California. Zillow came in after we came in, and then Trulia and Homes.com and all those other companies came after us. So we were kind of like the first real estate, brokerage to really just label our company as a .com, because we want to associate ourselves with the internet and particularly real estate. Okay, so that's a little bit of trivia. If you go and do your research, find how many companies whose legal name is a .com. Now, a lot of people say, because your name is newhomeprograms.com, do you only sell new homes? Well, the answer to that is no. But in the beginning, we predominantly did sell brand new homes, because we were in a market where there was 25 million brand new homes being built from 2000 to 2010. So back then, it just made sense to have a website that could bring in all the listings of new home builders into one website for people that were looking at buying new. Back then, almost anybody could buy a brand new house. Houses were starting at like $89,000, right? So it didn't make sense to try to fight for a resale property, which, new homes had more inventory, right? So almost all of my clients back then went new. So yes, it is a trigger word. It's a high-powered trigger word. When someone does a search for a new home, they're probably going to use the word new home in their search. And also, if they're first-time home buyer, they will use the trigger word programs, first-time home buyer programs, home programs, right? New home programs. So that's the idea behind our name and our brand, is to rank high in search engines because of those combination of those three keywords. Now, that was back in 2004. We're now in 2023. So as of today, New Home Programs is a little bit more than a real estate brokerage. 5 years ago, we started a mortgage company. We actually bought a franchise called Model Mortgage. So we do in-house financing for our clients. Credit enhancement program was something that we've designed more than 20 years ago. That's our credit repair company. How many agents out there get your hands on a buyer who's willing, right? And he's willing to buy, but is he really ready or able? He may not have the down payment, so he ain't ready, right? He's not able to buy because he can't get financed because his FICO score is low, right? So credit enhancement program is another company. It's what they call a CRO, credit repair organization, that accompanies our mortgage company and our real estate brokerage to help our agents to close more deal, particularly with folks that have issues with credit. Maranatha Homes, this was an idea that we came up with years ago for times such as this. Everyone knows there's a shortage of homes, and our end game was always to design and build our own brand of homes. We Insure is an insurance company. Now, this is also a franchise that we purchased 2 years ago because we understood that if you're going to get a house, particularly if you have a mortgage on it, right, you're going to need insurance, just like when you have a car. The bank's going to require that you have insurance on it. So now that we're seeing insurance premiums go beyond the roof, right, and automobile and even homeowners insurance, that right there is a lead generating tool, because if you're the agent who can say, hey, I see your post where you're upset that your insurance is going to go up by $1,000 a year, go ahead and reach out to me and I'll connect you with our people. And if you connect them, that means you're probably getting their name, phone number, email address, and their property address, which you can put in your database because later they may want to sell their home. And they'll probably think about you because you help them save money. And Red Title, now this is the only company that we actually don't own, but we do have an affiliate agreement with them where a lot of our business we're going to send to them because their concept is very similar to ours in the way that they operate. Okay. So next slide. Who's heard of the term Teamerage? So after this little meet and greet, get on the internet and Google that word. If you do, you're going to see that term has been used by Inman News, Housing Wire, Real Trends, and back in 2022, NAR, the National Association of Realtors. So if these big influencers in the real estate industry are using this word, this term, then we got to pay attention because now what they're saying is the next evolution of real estate brokerage is the teamerage, which is a combination of two concepts, a traditional brokerage and teams. Everybody knows that teams is probably one of the biggest changes in the real estate industry based on the size of brokerages. You know, when I say size, thousands of agents, right? Like, you know, imagine if you were assigned to a real estate office that had 1,000 agents. Like, would you really be able to get the customer service and support from your broker, right? If you're one of 1,000. So a lot of agents, you know, that join these big companies, they just felt like they were a number. So to get around that, some very smart people said, well, I'm experienced, but I don't want to be a broker because I don't want the responsibility. But what I can do is underneath a brokerage, I'll form a team where I can be like a team leader. And when someone's new in real estate, I can devote my time into that particular individual as long as they help me with my book of business. So now in today's real estate industry, when you go to a brokerage, they may give you the option of saying, hey, by the way, we have 4 teams here at our brokerage. And if you want one-on-one training and support, then we recommend you join a team. And based on this team concept, even the state laws have changed. So if you've been in real estate for a quick minute here in Texas, you notice now that when you give the IEBS to a consumer, they require you put who the licensed supervisor is that's over you. Most likely it could be a team lead, right? A lot of times it's not the designated broker anymore. When you do a contract offer, it's going to ask, is this a team? Are you working part of a team? And even when your profile is on HAR, you have the ability to have your profile pop up under a team. And now team names are actually registered with the state. So the rise of the team has become very popular, I would say, in the last 10 years, right? It's become well known. So now what's happening is you're having these teams that are underneath a brokerage where the team itself is starting to have more agents on the team than the actual brokerage, right? So you could look at that as it could be a team that's kind of operating as a little mini brokerage, but they don't have the responsibility because they're not the designated broker. Now, our definition is a real estate brokerage business model that leverages team concept and resources. So what does that mean? In our business model, we do have a corporate team. And a corporate team, these are going to be agents that dedicate themselves to real estate 24/7, but they may not have the means and the ability on their own to provide the tools and technology that they need to be successful. Because we do know in traditional brokerage, you're an independent contractor. So most independent contractors have to go find their own database or CRM, build their own website, hire their own real estate assistant once they start to get, you know, a little bit larger on their production, right? So that's traditional real estate. So at New Home Programs, we have a corporate team where we provide all those things that they would not be able to get if they're a solo agent, right? So it says newhomeprograms.com operates as a corporate team of licensed sales agents utilizing the most current resources, systems, and processes Our solo agents are allowed to incorporate many of the team concepts into their own business practice. So what this illustrates, and I keep getting these pop-ups, you guys are going, that's my team going back and forth on one of our little phone systems there. It keeps popping up on me. So what does this mean? On the left hand, you see a group of people, obviously a team. On the right hand, you see an individual agent. Individual agent is disconnected from the resources. So what are some of the resources that a team typically offers? Number one, you have a team prospect database. In this example, our team database, we have 90,000 plus prospects, buyers and sellers, even people that are renters, right? We do apartment locating, and also spheres of influences. These are people in the community that we have relationships with, that we keep up with them, and they give us referrals. So we have a database of 90,000 potential buyers and sellers, right? An agent coming into this industry is never going to have 90,000 people, right? They'll probably have their friends, family, and folks that they go to church with. And it takes them time to build up their book of business so that they can get to a level where they can pretty much live off the income of real estate. So automated nurturing team CRM. So a CRM is just a fancy word, database where you manage your clients. But the automated part is where a lot of people are missing out. The automation is, how in the world can you manage 90,000 people in a database being a human being, right? There's not enough days, in a month, there's not enough hours in the days. So automation is programming that is put in place in the database that will send out text messages, send out emails based on the habits of the person on your website. It could be based on their time frame of buying. So these are automatic touch points that are being done on behalf of the agent using program automation. Okay. Most real estate agents are not tech savvy folks, let alone programmers. So even if they had a system like KV Core, they may not know how to set it up and program it so that their system can do the work for them. Third bullet, dedicated concierge. A lot of teams will have someone that's on their team that makes phone calls to the prospects in the database on behalf of their agents, because the agent really should be out there showing homes, going on buyer, walkthroughs, attending closings, attending, inspections. So if they're out in the field, then they don't have time to be making phone calls in their database. Or if you do have a database that people are in there, you may not have the ability to call them, every, 30 days, 90 days, just to touch base with them based on the search process. Okay. So in a team model, that type of person that makes the phone calls, typically they call them an ISA, an inside sales associate. That's someone that when the leads come into the team database, that person makes the phone calls and schedules the appointments with the agents. Okay. Sales training and coaching. Well, if you're on a team, then whoever's running the team is the one who's carrying the investment costs of all this fancy technology and all these resources, right? So of course, they're going to have someone in the team that's always training the salespeople and giving coaching, because they don't want to waste their money investing hundreds of thousands of dollars a year on the hook for that, and then not have their salespeople to be able to close. So a very strong element of a team is having a sales trainer and also a coach and a mentor that is available 24/7 to help you with your production. Okay. Technology is a big part of running a team, because when you have so many moving parts of a team, a human being can't keep track of everything. So technology down to the phone system. So I'll give you one example. We run a system called Ring Central. It's a business line that our team members have. How do we know if they're the best at making their phone calls if we can't listen to recordings of their calls? This is the type of technology that teams typically run, some type of accountability system that can make sure that whoever they bring on the team is going to operate at the highest level can be able to convert the sales. And we know that the communications between our agents and the clients, that is key, because if an agent can't communicate properly the value of working with the team, then you're never going to have any sales. Okay. Now, what we do as a brokerage and as a team, we do offer free home buying classes for prospects that are in our database. So what does that look like? if you're on our team, instead of saying, hey, Mr. Broker, I want to do a home buying class for a couple of my friends and family, maybe at my local church, right? Can I do it? Of course you can do it. But what happens when you have to go by yourself? You got to do the presentation, you got to come up with the materials, and you only get a couple people that show up, right? You don't get a big return on investment when you do that on your own. Our way of doing it is we have a classroom at our corporate office, and we have a database where you can call all your prospects and say, hey, on this day, we're having a home buying seminar. Let me book you for a seat. And you just give them an Eventbrite link, you book them, and then they show up. I do the presentation, and you just shake their hand and say, thank you for coming out. So it's a cleaner and more functional way of doing the home buying classes. And if you're not a public speaker, and you don't want to get in front of the class, then it's kind of your opt out of, hey, I'll invite people, but I don't want to do the presentation. Well, you don't have to, because we have professionals that'll do that on your behalf. Okay. Custom marketing and prospect presentation materials. For a team, you're typically going to find that when you go out on a listing or you meet with the buyer, they're going to have some type of folder with a very sharp and detailed presentation, because you only have one opportunity to win that client over. And again, if you're a team owner, you're paying a lot of money, to get this thing going. So you're going to make sure that when your agents meet with someone, you're going to have a higher success rate of being able to attain that client. Okay. And the other thing with custom marketing, typically you'll have someone on your team who's a marketing specialist, who's the one who puts together the marketing materials, because we understand that a real estate agent is not a graphic designer. They're not able to put PowerPoint presentations and to put videos and YouTube and things like that. So typically you're going to have someone with that skill set that's on a team. The other thing, which is actually becoming very important, because right now we're in the rise of the MLM, network marketing, real estate, virtual brokerages, where you sacrifice having an actual physical office building where you can meet. But the gain that you're getting is if you recruit other people, then you get a little commission off of them. Everybody knows about EXP. Real is a spinoff of EXP. There's another company called LPT. And then there's just like so many of these companies that are coming out today. And their concept, they're virtual brokers, which means you don't have an office, right? So a lot of times when you do have a team and you start to get very large in your agent count, that brokerage might say, well, we only have enough spaces for like 2 offices in our brokerage, and you have a team of 50. So you're going to have to go out and get your own office space, right? Because the broker's like, I can't, have your 54 people in my brokerage when I only have 2 office spaces, right? So traditional teams, you will find that they typically will go out and they'll rent themselves like a suite, right? Like, for example, we used to do the Regis Business Suite, where we had 4 of these little offices spread out, across, really Houston, Dallas, San Antonio, and even Florida, where we operate. And the thing is, it became a lot of overhead for us as a brokerage. So we told our teams, hey, if you need your own personal space, then it's your responsibility to go and get your own office and, get your own lease in place. So with our team, we do have a nice, office with a nice building and a great location. And we have like probably 4 agent offices, plus we have an area for desk, and then also our conference room and our classroom, which are 24/7. So, you get a key card and you can have access whenever you want. The last bullet point is listing marketing material, signs, and open houses. Typically, when you're on a team, whoever runs the team is going to provide that type of stuff for your listings as well. Because why? Any leads that come in through the team concept, obviously the team owner is going to benefit financially. So typically they will foot the bill for the nice signs and, the open houses and, the marketing of those on behalf of the agents as well. Okay. So in this graphic where you see that the solo agent is disconnected, in our business model, even if you're not on a team, we can connect the agent to some of these resources that are offered by the team. And that's what it means, is the broker business model that leverages the team concept and resources. So we want our solo agents to also participate if it can help them build their book of business as well. Okay. Now, what I believe is something that's very important at any brokerage or even on a team is who's behind the curtains of the team. And with me being in this business for 20 years, I've literally produced probably 15 brokers. A lot of them actually left and either started their own real estate companies or they stayed with us and formed teams. And I can tell you that not every team is the same because a lot of the teams are ran by individual agents, probably in this day and age, closing about 15 to 20 transactions a year. And then all of a sudden they want to be a team, right? Back in the day, you'd close 100 transactions a year and then you would start a team, starting with the real estate assistant first. But it seems in this day and age, everybody wants to be a team lead, even though they don't have the volume to be able to handle bringing on buyer's agents and listing agents. So our corporate team solves that problem because our corporate team is not an individual agent who just said, hey, I want to start a team. No, this is our brokerage who has started a corporate team, and our corporate team has corporate management and also staff that's behind it. So as you can see in this Meet Our Team, there is my picture right there. I'm the designated broker. And if you can read over the role, which really is the title, the licenses that we carry, why do I have that on there? It's very important because, again, a traditional team at other real estate companies, the common denominator is the team leads are not brokers themselves. They don't want the responsibility. And that's not a bad thing, right? But the problem I see with that is whoever carries a broker's license is going to be more knowledgeable in the industry, particularly when it comes to the law, right? So on our team, you can see I have the broker's license, the mortgage license. You can see my duties, ensuring the vision of the organization is moving in the right direction. We have Miss Millie, same last name. If you haven't figured out, we're married. She's bilingual from Venezuela, so we do have support for our bilingual agent. She's also a real estate broker and a mortgage broker who's working with our mortgage side to be able to work loans, but also training bilingual agents. We have Mr. Manu, who's our sales manager and our coach. He also carries the real estate and the mortgage broker license. It's very important that you understand why we have these mortgage brokers license, because the real estate transaction, believe it or not, is financial, right? When you're filling out the blocks, it's like, what sales price do you want to offer? And, what's the closing cost that we're asking the seller to pay, and who pays the owner title policies? Those are very important numbers when it comes to negotiation. And I believe financing is what sells homes, right? So you have to have someone who understands our side of the house, the real estate process, but also the mortgage side of the house. Because if you're working with someone and being educated on both sides, financing and real estate sales, you will have a higher conversion rate. This is why our agents are actually closing more deals than a traditional agent, is because they understand financing. They understand credit scoring. They understand down payment programs and different types of financing options. And I know in real estate, they try to get a real estate agent to believe that you're not supposed to talk about financing, but I don't understand how that could be real. Particularly in Texas, you got to do 30-hour finance course, right? So there's a lot of things you can talk about financing to help you to close more deals, and we're the brokerage who's going to teach you that, okay? So for Mr. Manu, he's supervised, he does training and coaching of the sales force, and he's also originating mortgage loans. We got Mr. Kevin Zuniga. He's in the middle. He's kind of like the glue that keeps everything going. He's also bilingual. He's our operations manager. So his duties is he runs the office, he manages it, agent onboarding, and also something you guys probably think is very important, he pays our agents. So if you want to get paid, he's the guy that you probably need to get close to. And he has an IT background, so also he takes care of all technical services. So if you're not an IT or technical type person and you can't get your Apple to work or your Android to work, then he's going to be the person who's probably going to be able to help you out there. Okay. Next in line, we got Miss Audrey. She is our transaction coordinator. Now, here's a special caveat behind Audrey. She has a real estate license. Not only does she have it, she was on the team as a salesperson, right? So she knows how to show homes. She could do contracts, negotiations. So it's very rare to find a transaction coordinator that has the license, but more importantly, has the experience of being out in the field. Okay. So her duties is she manages the agent's transactions from contract to close. Now, we know that the largest time frame in a transaction, it's from the time we get them on contract to the time they close. If it's resale, most likely that's a 30-day time frame, right? And a lot of things that have to be done come with specific times, option period fees and walkthroughs and buyer's walks and scheduling the closing at the title. So many things that involve with time, right? And we know real estate agents are salespeople. Sometimes they're not meticulous with their admin, right? So this is why we have her, is to fill in the gap in your business to make sure that everything gets done properly and on time. And because we do sell a lot of brand new homes, sometimes that 30 days is 9 months, right? Some builders can build in 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and even 9 months. Imagine having someone that's going to keep you and the client and the lender and the builder and everybody else in the loop for 9 months. That's what she does. All right. So who do we have here? We have Lacey Hull. If you like this little presentation, she's the one who made it for me, right? So Lacey is our marketing manager. Her duties is making sure that everything is in compliance. We do not allow our agents to go and put our logo on bootleg images that they stole from Google and put them on social media. If you have anything that you want to put out there, run it through Lacey, and I promise you, we probably already own the rights to hundreds, if not thousands, of images that we've already paid for. And because she knows our business model and practices, she can probably make the ad 1,000,000 times better than any agent can, right? So her background is graphic design, marketing, and just producing high quality marketing for our agents. You don't have to go to, I don't know, what's the name of that company that people go to, or you hire these contractors? I even forgot their name. What's the name, Lacey? Where people go to hire someone to make an image or a video for them? You there, Lacey?
Fiverr.
Fiverr. Oh, okay. Once we got Lacey, I totally forget Fiverr, because I used to use Fiverr back in the day before we have Lacey, but we don't use Fiverr anymore, right? These guys don't know how we operate and our color scheme and what we stand for. So Lacey does. So she is an asset, because at the end of the day, how are you going to get leads if you don't have good marketing material, right? So last person on the list, Karen Bailey, also bilingual. What is her role? She's a real estate assistant. What does she do? She manages the corporate database. Remember, we talked about the 90,000 people in the database. And she can legally talk to them about all areas of real estate, because she also has a real estate salesperson's license. So she actually works at the front desk. She takes the incoming calls. So if someone calls in and says, hey, I heard about this company, I want to work with one of your agents, she's like, great, let me get some more information. What location are you looking? What price range? Are you working with an agent? Where are you at in the process? What's your time frame? Now let me book you an appointment with one of our team agents, so that a licensed agent can meet with you and talk to you about our services. So imagine having a personal real estate assistant that could also help you manage your database, who is here locally and being able to help you out. Okay, that's what she does. All righty, moving on. So what is this opportunity about? Because a lot of times, people see our marketing, they see our branding, but they don't know the logistics of, if I'm an agent, what can you guys do for me, right? Because that's how the agent thinks. So here's what we can do for you. We have 3 positions, 3 different roles that a real estate agent, a licensed real estate agent, can participate in the new home programs experience. So obviously the top one is the corporate team agent. Again, we are a brokerage that's built around a corporate team. So that is the majority of our business, is through our team. So it says a corporate team agent works with prospective buyers and sellers, captured through the brokerage website, listings, social media, and various marketing platforms. It says leverages team resources to earn more in less time. What does that mean? A brand new real estate agent, and we interview a lot of people, a brand new agent in their first year based on COVID to today, typically is going to probably sell one house. Now, pre-COVID, when prices were lower, interest rates were lower, they probably would have sold two or three in their first year, and it would have been predominantly their friends and family. And a lot of them, it would have been their own transaction when they bought their own house, right? So what does it mean, leveraging team resources to earn more in less time? Well, when you're on a team, you have to understand we have thousands of prospects in our database that have been marinating. So for example, we could have someone who registered 2 years ago and said, I want to buy my house in the summer of 2023. So you could be on the receiving end of someone who's been receiving our branding for over 2 years, and you just happen to be the agent that he's connected with, and you go out and represent them and you sell a home. So that's where the timing of not having to be in this industry for 3 years and finally closing 4 or 5 deals a year, right? We can speed that up by getting you connected with our prospects. And it says consistently closes real estate transactions. This is another issue in traditional real estate. If there's 12 months out of the year in a new agent, or even an agent who has a license, let's say 8 years. We talked to agents that have license for 8 years, and they were off and on in real estate, right? The market, kind of got bad during COVID, so they went and got a job for 2 years, and now they're back trying to get back up on their feet. So it doesn't really matter how long you've had your license, right? That's not going to determine how many transactions that you do. But what I do know is very important, and we all have this in common. Our bills always come every month, right? And if you're a real estate agent who doesn't have consistent closings every month, then you're going to run into an issue. You're not going to be able to pay your bills. So when we say consistently closing, is we're building up a pipeline for you so that you can have enough people in your pipeline where you can close transactions every month. Okay, we have a systematic approach to that. It says no agent expenses equals more agent profits. Well, if you're not having to pay, for example, we have a brokerage fee, which is $199. That's how we can afford to have the best technology for our agents. On our team, that's actually paid by the brokerage, right? You don't have to pay for the listing signs. You don't have to go and pay for marketing materials. You don't have to pay for a real estate assistant. You don't have to pay for a transaction coordinator. So by not having those expenses that agents typically would have in this business, if they're doing good numbers, then you're going to make more profits. Okay. We do have the ability for an agent to be W-2 or 1099. Now, why would a real estate agent elect to be a W-2 employee? Can anyone answer that question? So if nobody can answer that, because I know it's strange, right? A real estate company saying that you could come on as a W-2 employee. So one of the biggest concerns of a real estate agent who gets in this business knowing that they're on their own, they're what they call a sole proprietor, right? It is very difficult for you to get health insurance, especially if you have kids. That is a major concern. I didn't even believe that concern until I had my first kid in 2018 and my second kid in 2019. And I was paranoid as heck that if something happened to my kids, am I going to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? And I say hundreds and thousands of dollars, and I'm not saying that jokingly. I promise you, I had COVID. I had to go to 3 different hospitals. Just one hospital bill was $79,000. When I had my second kid who had to go to NICU for 5 days, that bill was $53,000. And back then, we didn't have company insurance, right? So I had to pay out of my pocket, called cash pay, that bill. So we decided to get a company-sponsored plan through Blue Cross Blue Shield of Texas. It's a group plan. And right now, I'm a member of the group plan. So for me, my wife, and my 2 children, I pay $1,400 a month to have the best healthcare insurance that you could possibly have, right? So by the time, I got the COVID, and St. Luke's charged me $14,000, American ER charged me I think $35,000, and Memorial Hermann down the street charged me $79,000. Trust me, I didn't pay that. I paid my deductible, and that was it. So for me to pay $1,400 a month to insure all 4 of my family members and not ever have to worry about filing bankruptcy because of medical bills, that became very valuable to me. And there are some agents out there that maybe their spouse has insurance through their company, or maybe their spouse doesn't. So for some people, having those types of benefits sometimes outweigh even what you would receive in your commission splits. Okay. So if you do decide you want to be a W-2 commissioned employee, we do have the ability to get you set up with that. Okay. And if anybody knows I'm telling the truth on that, just chat the word amen, because I know that is a concern amongst a lot of people. Now, let's talk about the money. Show me the money. So for those on the corporate team, we do have a team split, which is 50-50, which means whatever commission comes in through our marketing, our systems, our staff, we feel that 50% is more than fair, since we're taking 100% of the financial burden. Now, the other 50% goes in your pocket. So let me give you an example of how that's looking for a lot of our team agents now. In the month of September, I believe every single deal we have on the team, on the books, is a brand new home. And I want to say it's probably DR Horton, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, Manu. But these deals, because again, we do lean a little bit more to new homes, most of these deals, the commissions are 5%. So how does that look for our agent? Well, the commissions are going to be about $14,000 coming to the brokerage, and our agents are walking away with $7,500 of that. Okay, which that is really good money, considering that a lot of our agents are closing multiple deals every month, right? So if our agents self-generate business, which would simply be, they go to church and they have, maybe their pastor wants to buy a house, or they're going shopping at the store and they hand out a business card. It's any person who is not in our corporate database that they put in there, they do get a pay rate of 10% on that particular deal. Okay, that's what we call self-generated business that's brought in to the team. Now, traditionally, when people join new home programs, traditionally they're going to be buyer's agents, because they find out very quickly that we have all the connections with the builders, and yes, builders can pay more money. And in an economy where listings aren't selling super duper fast, then they want to go after the fast money. So they want to represent buyers, right? So a lot of times they don't want to do listings, which we get it. If you don't want to do listings, we're not going to make you do listings. Plus, you have to know how to do listings, or we have to train you. But here's the thing. If you're on the team and you bring in listings to the team and you don't want to do them, then you will get 25% just by simply handing over the listing, right? You don't meet with the seller. We actually send a team out that meets with them. You don't do the paperwork. You don't, schedule a sign to go out. But what you can do, and this is why a lot of our buyer's agents do this, when we do the open houses, then most definitely you can control the open house. So if you're like, hey, I don't want to deal with the seller, but hey, can I get all the buyers that are going to come in through the marketing of that open house? Then most definitely, right? Because you can have one listing and attract 10 different buyers to that listing. So the way our buyer's agents look at that is, I'd rather have 10 opportunities of making sales versus the one. Okay. And we don't allow an individual agent to be intermediary. So that's the other concern, is if I get the listing and there's 3 buyers that come to this listing and one of them buys my property, can I double dip? We don't allow that intermediary. We do intermediary with appointments, which means we'll assign one buyer agent to the buyer and the listing agent to the seller. Okay. So we do allow intermediary, but it can't be one agent on both sides of the transaction. Okay. So the solo agent, now this is someone that is not part of the corporate team. So a lot of those benefits that we showed you, they still can benefit from it. But here's the main difference. They will not participate in the corporate database. That's the number one difference, is they will not have access to the thousands of prospects, leads, sellers, buyers, renters. They won't have that. They are required to go out there and, talk to their own people and build their database with the brokerage. Now, all those other bullet points that we had, they can share in those. Like they can have the transaction coordinator. We can have our call center even, monitor your database and work it and even set appointments on your calendar as well. So it says a solo agent works their personal sphere of influence and operates on their own schedule. By leveraging the brokerage transaction coordinators and call center, solo agents can scale their business to unimaginable heights. Now it says you're going to leverage proven marketing, sales, and technology systems. So you will be using the same CRM that we've programmed with the automation to generate more business and referrals for your database. Okay, you can earn additional income from affiliate referrals. What does that mean? Now, at the beginning, we talked about how we have a mortgage company. So if you were to go get your mortgage license and you hang it with our mortgage brokerage, for any person that you send to us that does a loan, we will pay you an affiliate referral fee. That will be 20% of whatever the commission that comes in, right? If you get your insurance license and you refer all your friends and family to our insurance company, we will also pay you a commission on those referrals as well. That's $50 commission for every referral that you send over, and we will give you a little back end on the commissions as they renew their policies. So it's technically what you could run at your level is exactly what we run at our level. You could get paid on mortgages, insurance, even the credit repair company that we have. Okay. It says you work independently or you could lead a team. So if you're like, well, hey, I got a book of business and, I want to leverage the leads that I'm getting and, maybe bring a new agent in where I can teach them and, they can kind of help me out, right? You could bring that person in, start your own little team underneath our corporate team and still utilize our resources. For example, you start a team and you bring in a couple new agents. Well, they got to be trained by the broker, right? Because at the end of the day, I'm 100% responsible for their knowledge and their education. Why not have them join in on our weekly trainings that Manu, our sales manager, is conducting? Right? So there might be some things that you as an agent can't teach in compliance. That's why we have compliance training every month. So you just get them plugged into our training program and we'll take care of that. A solo agent can be part-time. Now, what does it mean to be part-time? This is someone that says, well, maybe I work as a school teacher and on the summers I want to work a couple deals on the side. Or, I'm an engineer and I have a lot of engineering buddies that I work with. When they buy a home, they want me to work with them. So part-time means you can run your own schedule. It could either be 1 or 2 sales, a year, or you could just say, I just want to work weekends. The benefit of our corporate team by leveraging our assets, number one, is if you get someone on contract, and let's say you're a school teacher, and that walkthrough and that closing, or even showing properties, they want to see properties on a Tuesday at 1 p.m. in the afternoon. If you're a school teacher, you're not going to be able to accommodate. You could leverage our agents on the corporate team for a 20% split. They will go out and actually show the properties for you. Right? Our transaction coordinator, you get someone on contract and she needs to do all the scheduling while you're at school, she can do that for you, right? So as a part-time person who doesn't have 24 hours in a day to work, you can leverage our corporate team to fill in those gaps. Now, the compensation on a solo side, it's a 90-10 commission split. Whatever you sell, you keep 90%, the brokerage keeps 10. Now, there is a monthly brokerage fee of $199. What that's going to do is give you the same tools and equipment that we run at the highest level in the corporate team. Okay? And on my next slide, I'm going to show you some of that. So that's the solo agent position. It's being an independent agent under the brokerage, under the brand, but still leveraging a lot of the resources that we have for our corporate team, minus the database, the corporate database. Okay? We'll still teach you how to generate leads to put people in your database. But the thing is you're on a whole different schedule, right? Our teammates, they're working literally 7 days a week, 24/7, all year, right? That's just, their dedication to wanting to make money and build a successful, career in a pipeline. Solo agents, we don't dictate anything with your time. You do what you want. And if you make a sale, then you'll get paid and then we'll get paid also. But we don't have any goals, any requirements or anything on you. Okay. A brand ambassador is a licensed real estate agent who has no time to practice real estate or simply wants to market the brokerage services for a 20% referral fee. We came up with this plan because over the last 20 years, there's a lot of people that try to do real estate part time and they couldn't do it successfully, but they were influencers, right? Everywhere they went, people loved them. So we created a position where all they have to do is hand out business cards and say, hey, call this number or go to this website, put me down. And when that lead comes into the corporate team, our team jumps in the action. We work the deal, we close it, and then we cut a 20% referral fee to that agent. So if you're someone who says, I have a license, but I don't do anything with it, well, then just be a brand ambassador. Just tell people, hey, I'm a marketing person for newhomeprograms.com. My role is to tell you about the broker services. This is what we can offer. Or set them up for the home buying classes. Hey, if you're a first-time home buyer, let me set you up. You give them your own personalized link. They register. They show up. They're connected to you. If we close them, you get a check. So it says you earn commissions from real estate referrals, earn additional income for affiliate referrals. The brand ambassador can do the same thing. Get your mortgage license or your insurance license, and now you can get paid off of those services as well. Okay. No commitment to practice real estate, so go enjoy your life. And no monthly brokerage fee, right? There's no fee for you to even hang your license with us. Now, what you do have to pay is whatever it takes to keep your license active. So whether you're a solo agent, brand ambassador, or corporate team agent, you got to maintain an active license, which means you got to take your CE classes and renew your license with TREC. Because at the end of the day, if you don't have an active license, then none of these opportunities apply. Okay. So technology. We spoke about solo agents. There's a $199 monthly fee for our corporate team. There is no fee because we actually pay that through the corporate profits. What does that look like? At this current day and age, we run Boomtown. That's our CRM. It's also the website. Agents also get their own websites. You can have your vanity domain name. So if you want to have CorySellsHomes.com, you can have that. And the agents' websites will be mirror images of what we have. So you don't have to figure out a design of a website. We know what design works. Okay. Boomtown is the top CRM for real estate teams in America. Now, recently, they got acquired by Inside Real Estate, who owns KV Core. So we're kind of like in a holding pattern right now because they're trying to sandwich the two and come out with a special version of KV Core. I think they're going to call it KV Core Pro. It's going to be at a higher level than what folks at EXP are using and Remax are using and different brokerages, because they're taking the culture of Boomtown and the way Boomtown believes lead generation should be done, and they're going to merge it with a new KV Core platform. So if you're familiar with KV Core, that's what we're going to be migrating to probably in the next couple months. We also run Office 365 business suites. We don't do the Google suites. So what this does, it allows you to have a professional email address instead of Joe Sells Homes at, Yahoo, right? Which we know those accounts get jacked into all the time. No, we run newhomeprograms.com emails. You get your Outlook calendar, you get your Word, you get your Excel, all the tools that you really need to be in this business. Okay. We use Brokerment as a transaction management software, which is owned by Boomtown, which will be owned by Inside Real Estate, and it syncs with Boomtown, our CRM, right? We use Ring Central, which is a phone technology system that all the big Fortune 500 companies use. Somebody calls your direct business line, they get the nice elevator music, they get the prompts. But most importantly, it records all calls. So for compliance purpose, when someone files a complaint against you, you want to be able to say, well, let's go back and listen to the recordings because you're accusing me of something that I didn't say, right? So that is one of the major benefits of using Ring Central, and why we have access to all of our agents with that is for your protection, the brokerage protection, and your clients' protection as well. And then it comes with the element of Zoom. Instead of having the free Zoom that cuts you off after 45 minutes, this thing has its own feature of Zoom built in where you can have your buyer and seller presentation meetings literally virtually. Okay. We do also run showing time, which I know if you're a member of HAR, they came out with their own version, right? But because we're a brokerage spread out throughout Texas and even other states, showing time is a national service. And honestly, I think it's way better than what HAR has. So you'll have that as well. And then Calendly is an appointment booking system that works miracles for your business, because with all the automation in your database, wouldn't it be nice to actually show up every day to do your job, and you already have people that have booked calls on your calendar that actually want to speak with you, right? So we run that at the team level, but also solo agents can run that as well. And it's the system that when our call center speaks to people in your database, your Calendly link is integrated with your Boomtown. So, for example, let's say Randy has a database and somebody's on the website favoring properties. That triggers our call center to call that guy named Joe. Hey, Joe, you looked at this property 5 times. You calculated a mortgage. Let me update your file. When are you looking to buy? Oh, next month. Okay, great. I need to get you set up with a callback with Randy. Let me go ahead and get you set up. They will use your link to set the callback. It looks at your calendar of availability, and our concierge will book that call for Mr. Randy. Okay, so the main thing is you can't call yourself a .com, right, technology company and not run the best technology. So whatever is going to be the best technology out there, we are going to leverage our corporate sales to be able to afford to pay for the best stuff for our agents. All right, so on to what is this all about? So we are .com, newhomeprograms.com. We are a website, platform just like Zillow, HAR.com. So we have tons of people that find us either through our digital marketing, they find us through our organic ranking. We crank out massive amounts of blogs. Our social media account on Facebook, we got 24,000 followers just on one of our social media accounts. So what does that look like and what does it mean to you? Well, here's a 30-day snapshot, performance snapshot of our website. We can see that there was 179,000 emails that were sent out on behalf of our agents, because we have a program in your accounts to send out property emails, but they could be also touch point. Like, hey, this is Cory. It's been a while since we chatted. Just dropping you a line, see if anything's happening in your life. If so, click the link below and schedule a call back and let's catch up. Right? Could you imagine sending out 170,000 emails? That's insane, right? Website visitors via the auto emails. What that means is these emails that are going out, right? And they're looking at these properties, they're looking at the emails that are programmed. That's 1,300 people in that 30-day snapshot that went back to the website because of those emails. How many properties are they looking at? That was 20,000 property listings viewed. And here's the thing. We can see which properties they looked at, right? We can see which ones they favorited, which ones they calculated a mortgage. So as they're interacting with our website, you as the agent are watching everything that they're doing. So now it becomes like shooting fish in a barrel. Hey, this guy Joe clicked on this property 6 times and he calculated a mortgage. Why wouldn't you call Joe and say, hey, Joe, why look at it on the internet? I could set up a showing right now. We could be looking at this property in an hour from now, right? So you don't have to wait around twiddling your thumbs, waiting for business to call you when you can proactively chase the business down based on their search habits in the system. So that month, it looks like we brought 453 new leads added to the team database. We had almost 1,300 two-way conversations. That could be phone calls, but also we have a text message feature built into our CRM, right? 1,300 people we chatted with. Inbound web inquiries. So the inbound are like people filling out contact forms. Like they saw a program page like military veterans program or home buying class, and they fill it out and they're like, hey, I'm interested in your next class. Hey, I'm a military veteran. I see you guys work with veterans, right? Hey, I'm interested in coming to meet with one of your agents, the contact form, with their office location. So that's 130 inbound web inquiries, 24 showing requests. So what does that mean? There's people that are in our database that aren't currently working with an agent. See, when you're working with an agent, you're probably sending them the properties and scheduling the showings, right? But the consumer also in our database, regardless if they're connected with an agent or not, they can look at properties and hit a button that says, I want to schedule a showing, right? Those are the best leads, because if we get one of those leads that come in, we immediately assign it to an agent and say, hey, jump on this, because they want to actually go see a property. And also in that 30-day snapshot, 333 of those leads that came in were sent to concierge. What that means is when leads start to start to show aggressive behavior on our website, they're submitting forms, they're requesting showings, they're looking at a property 10 times, there is an automation that's going to trigger our concierge service, our call center, to re-engage with that lead. So that was 333 times that these concierge folks jumped into our database to interact with these leads. Okay. So we do need help as a real estate brokerage, regardless if you're on the team, solo agent, or even a brand ambassador. But honestly, we do need help with the team. Now, real quick, because I feel that we have to show you one of the advantages that we have as a real estate company that also allows us to be a little bit more successful than traditional real estate brokerages. See, when you own your own mortgage company, yes, your agents are going to be a little bit highly educated, more educated, because when someone asks them questions about financing, like, for example, I just talked to my mom this morning. She said, hey, your little brother, he has a new girlfriend. He's thinking about maybe buying a house since he's making good money, but he wants to save his money for down payment. I said, Mom, you guys know that there is no money down programs, right? That right now he could buy a house. Why would he want to save up for money and it take him a year or two when the prices of homes have gone up, right? When he can get a down payment assistance program like right now and literally be looking at homes, right? See, when you're an agent and you know that there's solutions to issues that are probably stopping people from buying, then obviously you're going to have a higher conversion rate. You know, it's not uncommon, you know, for our agents to say, well, hey, why do you want to buy a house next year? Well, I want to wait and get my income tax return so I can have a down payment. But you're looking at houses in Montgomery County. They offer $12,000 grant for first-time home buyers. So why would you wait until next year when you can get more in this grant than you probably get in the income tax refund? Oh, that makes sense. And I didn't know that. I'm glad a real estate agent told me about that. Okay. So for our mortgage company, which is a mortgage broker, what that means is we're connected with multiple lenders, right? See, mortgage brokers have the ability to shop multiple lenders, rates, and programs to give your buyer all the options available for their specific needs. And we give them a full side-by-side comparison. That's written into the law. If you work with a broker, they got to give you 3 options, right? So mortgage brokers assist buyers with their right to shop, making it easy and more efficient by providing all the options at one time, providing a one-stop shop advantage. So if you pick up a client from church and you tell them, hey, I got 3 business cards to 3 different people that work at 3 different banks, good luck getting that client back, right? Because as soon as you lose control and you send them out, especially if that person you referred to them is not able to do all types of loans. For example, not every person who does loans is good at doing VA loans, let alone USDA loans, which are zero money down loans in rural areas, right? There's like 90% of Texas is rural area. So if you send them to someone that works for a bank, like Chase Bank, and they don't do USDA loans, then you send them to the wrong place and you wasted their time. But if you say, hey, by working with me at newhomeprograms.com, you have access to our in-house financing department, which does every type of loan except for land loans. That's the only thing we don't do. We do FHA, VA, we do conventional, we do the Texas Veterans Land Board, we do fix and flip loans, we do investor loans, we do I-10 loans, we do foreign national loans, we do self-employed bank statement loans. Any loan that can be done on a residential house, right? A house, we can do it, right? And when you connect them with their in-house financing, we have over 10 multi-billion-dollar lenders that we can even shop different rates to make sure they get the best deal and the lowest fees. By having this in your arsenal for your clients, you will have a higher conversion rate. especially using the CRM that we do, it's connected to our loan officer. So as they're working with your client, you're getting to see the notes of what's happening on their loan. Okay. Here's just an example of some of the lenders. United Wholesale Mortgage is the largest mortgage lender in America. The owner of UWM just bought the Phoenix Suns last year, right? So we're talking about wholesale lenders that are doing way more mortgages than the big banks that you guys see all over the place, all the credit unions, Wood Forest Bank, Wells Fargo. So these are giants in the industry. And this little star next to them are the ones we're connected to, right? We have more, but these are the ones that are in the top 20. Okay. Now, our insurance company is another benefit to our agents because right now, insurance premiums on homes are going ballistically high, especially if your home is in Harris County or Fort Bend. So when that person gets that $2,300 house payment from that mortgage loan originator, and they're like, well, I can't afford $2,300. Maybe I can afford $2,100. You better believe that we're going to leverage our insurance company to shop around with several different carriers to see if we can lower that insurance premium so we can get that person's principal, interest, tax, insurance lower so that they feel comfortable with that payment. Okay. And it's an extra added value to talk with your clients and say, hey, I might not be able to help you buy today because you're not ready, but let me find something of value that I can offer you today. How much are you paying for your auto insurance? Oh, I'm paying, $500 a month. If we could save you some money, right, to lower your debt liability, is that something that you'd probably be interested in? Yes. Then you just click on the insurance Calendly link, set up the call back with this guy right here. This is our insurance agent, Mr. Sid. He'll take it from there. If he can save them money, you better believe he's going to get them. And then automatically you get a referral fee. And because you help that person, they're more likely to remember you when they are ready to buy. That's our insurance value add for agents with our company. The last one, which I believe is probably the biggest value add to our agents, is what do you do when probably now 8 out of 10 leads that you get say, I want to wait because I'm working on my credit, right? Good luck with you trying to figure out what credit repair company actually works. So why do we have a credit company? Credit repair company is very simple. We're a lead gen company, and we know out of every 10 leads, probably 7 to 8 are not going to have the credit scores they need to get the best loan in today's market. For us, the best loan is the one with the least interest rate, the lowest interest rate, and the least amount of fees associated with getting it. The worse your credit is, the higher price you're going to pay for that loan. And our value to our clients on the real estate side is let's put you in the best loan product humanly possible. And they're going to say, well, how do you do that? You're a real estate agent. Well, we have a finance team, right? And they'll tell us if you're going to get the shaft on the loan. And they will tell you that you need to work on your credit, which probably you will not do it if you're left to do it on your own. So let's connect you with our credit enhancement program, which we understand mortgage guidelines. So when we fix a person's credit, it's based on our knowledge of what banks are going to look for on that mortgage. So by the time we work on the credit and you get this person back, they are going to get approved. Okay. So that is my last slide. Now what I want to do is I want to have a question and answer session. We still have our teammates on here. So if our teammates want to chime in and give any input or introduce yourself, I know I went over the PowerPoint, but looks like everybody's online now. We got 13 people. So question and answers. Let's have it.
Just Kevin, your office manager here. Could you talk about what they get once they join us, if they bring people
in? I didn't mention that one. Let me see if I can pull this up on the screen share right quick. All right. So to help grow the brokerage, we have what's called our recruiting bonus program. So any agent that is a member of newhomeprograms.com, if you know someone who would be a fit for our corporate team, if they join, and when they do close their first transaction, which we're going to help them to do that, From our brokerage side of that split, you will receive $1,000 recruiting bonus. Now, if you recruit someone and they go to the solo agent side, it's the same concept. Once they close their first transaction, from that 10% we receive as the real estate brokerage, we will forfeit that commission and we will give you a $500 bonus. So this is just another way to say, hey, if you believe in who you work for and you feel that other people might be able to be helped by what we can do for them and offer them, then we're willing to pay you because you're helping us grow the company. Now, our bonuses were not really that big back in the past, but we've increased them recently because there is a trend of these companies, hey, come and join us. And if you recruit people, we'll give you a couple pennies on whatever their commission is, right? 3.5% or 0.75. Honestly, we ran that model when we first started New Home Programs. See, in the beginning, when an agent was with us and you recruited someone, then you got 10% of that agent's commission, right? So it was not uncommon to get like a $500-600 bonus every month on the person that you brought in. But the problem with that system when we ran it for years is we found out that 90% of real estate agents, they're not recruiters, right? So they're like, hey, my split is this and I'm never going to recruit. So I'm going to leave to another company with a better split. So we understand you're not a recruiter. You want to sell houses, right? So we decided to get away with that multi-level stuff because, again, you spend time recruiting a bunch of people with the hope that you got to recruit 100 people just to make an extra $1,000 a month income, right? And it doesn't happen for most people. I know because we talk to EXP agents and, different Exit Realty is another one of them. And at the end of the day, when I look at their recruits, they're like, yeah, I've recruited 10 people over 5 years. One of them still left, right? So our thing is, it's better to give you a big chunk of change for recruiting someone one time. Because again, if that agent decides to quit, the month after they close their first transaction, then, you wouldn't get the revenue share like, with these other companies. Okay. Good question. Thanks for reminding me of that, Kevin. Show me the money.
Show me the money.
Anyone else?
I have a question. So for the solo agent, I don't know if you said it or not, but do they qualify for W-2 also? Or is it just you have to be a corporate agent for that?
Yeah, for the corporate agent, it's W-2 because why? When it comes to something like the health benefits, the company, being our brokerage, we're on the hook to pay your monthly premium, right? So how do we get that? It's from your sales. So a solo agent typically, especially if they're new, they don't have consistent sales every month, right? Now our corporate team, these guys have the ability to have consistent sales. So after 90 days of being employed with us, we will know if you're a fit for the corporate team. We will know how much sales you have. So what happens is, for example, that $1,400 that I say that I have to pay for insurance, right? That's actually taken out of my commissions, right? And then on the first of the month, the brokerage is what pays Blue Cross Blue Shield of Texas. So if I didn't have any commissions, then there wouldn't be anything that the brokerage could take from me to pay the insurance company, right? So we don't pay your insurance. Like we will pay it. It's a pass through, right? So that's why on the corporate team, we're a little bit more sure that you can be more consistent in your pay. Now, what will happen is when we run it through payroll, they know if you're going to get a check because even your commissions on W-2 have to be run through payroll. So let's say it is a month where we still have to pay your monthly premium, but you didn't make any commissions. Then on your next paycheck, you're going to see that not only did you owe the month prior, but also the current month. So what they're going to do is they'll deduct the 2 months of your premium from that paycheck. So, but the thing is we're a little bit more comfortable with people on the team because they typically are going to close more transactions than someone who's on the solo side.
Right. Okay.
Right. Now, and because I said that, we have solo agents that have been with us for a very long time. I'm talking like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years. They are closing, sometimes 30 to 50 transactions a year. But they had a huge head start Like when we first started this company, they've been with us for a long time, right? So I'm not saying that a solo agent can't close enough transactions to be on that W-2 type position. It's just this is a new economy now. Before COVID, the average transactions per agent in our city here of Houston was maybe six closings. So that means every other month there was no paycheck to the agent. Now that we're past COVID, right? Interest rates are up. The values of houses are up, so it's a little bit harder. Now it's probably down to about 3 transactions per year for an average agent, right? So our team concept is a solution to get you above that 3 transactions per year. Because at the end of the day, we got tons of people in our database that want us to help them buy a home. But honestly, if you only qualify for $190,000, the chance of us helping you to buy a home is probably like 5%. Right? Unless a person really can afford maybe $1,900 starting out, it's going to be difficult to help them on the buy side. Right? And we know it because we can track the price ranges that they're looking at. Like right now, this is showing you, here's our database, 97,000 people. And these are folks, like here's you right there, Miss Tia, you're on our website 4 minutes ago. Connected with us 5 months ago. So I'm looking at the houses that you're looking at. Now, here's the thing. If you're on this call and you recently registered, you probably started getting properties sent to your email. I did that because I want you to see what the consumer would see if they were in your database, because that's what keeps bringing them back to you. And this is why we have people that registered, look, a year ago, 2 years ago, 2 months ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. Look at this. They're still on our website. This Miss Linda registered 5 years ago. She's on our website like literally an hour ago. And we're going to be able to see exactly what she's looking at on our website. And we'll be able to call her and say, hey, you've been a customer of ours for 5 years. How come you haven't bought a home? Right? And then we'll re-engage her and, re-update her data and send her the right properties out. Now, this thing is taking forever to load up, but here we go. Right here. See, it looks like our automated system sent out June 11th, a pre-programmed email, your home search. She opened it 4 times and she got that email 6 weeks ago. Check this out. Just yesterday, she was back on our website again because of all the programming that we have. There's program text messages that are going out, right? We can see all that. Here's the property. She wants a home in North Houston with no HOA. She wants, properties in New Caney, and she's getting those properties from our system. The agent's not sending it to them. Our system is. You see, she favorited 8 properties right here. Viewed 97 homes more than 3 times. We see she's looking at it from a computer, a desktop, and she's looking at it from her mobile phone. This was the house that she looked at yesterday, and it already went under contract. See, when you have someone who qualifies for less than probably 230 in this market, those homes aren't going to last. Right? This house was just updated 6 minutes ago because someone just put that house under contract. So the name of the game in real estate now is you got to go after more prospects than you had to go after before COVID, because it's just, the prices are higher, Good question. Any other questions?
I have another question.
What's that? Come on, fire them up.
Okay, so if you start off as a solo agent, so within that time, if you say, oh my God, like I'm booming, I'm doing a great job, and you're like, I'm going to do this full time and I want to actually become a corporate team agent now. What's the process from going from a solo agent to transitioning over to a corporate team agent? Is there a process for that?
No, you just tell us. And what we do is we stop the $199 fee, the monthly fee. So we stop that. And you'll still have the systems, like you'll have an account with our CRM. But what we do now is, and I didn't mention this to you guys, one of the commitments that we have to the agents on the corporate team is once you join, our goal is to build you up a database with at least 400 clean prospects. So I'll give you an example. I'm going to use Miss Popka right here. I think she came on. Is she on this call? I think she came on maybe 3 months ago, something like that.
3 months ago.
3 months ago. So you see how she already has 414 people, right? When I say clean, they have good phone numbers. Look at this. This one is two-way. She's talking to them, two-way communication. They pick up the phone when she calls, right? Emails, right? 20 emails sent. So we know this is a valid email address. Text messages. We know that these people have been text messaging back and forth. Now, this one opted out of text, right? So when we say clean, good phone number, good email address, they want to communicate with us. They're on the website. They're using it. They're on drip campaigns, right? So if you're on a solo side, and if you really are rocking it on the solo side by yourself, getting your own leads, right? And you're closing, let's say 12 transactions, probably a year. You don't need to be on the corporate team because you're rocking and rolling, but you're still using our transaction coordinator, our call center, right? So the team may not be for you. It just depends on what's happening in your life. Sometimes there's people that do the whole job of the real estate agent making money, but then they have no life because they don't have time. That person is my situation, right? Like I could be a solo agent and slam dunk 30 sales a year if I wanted to, but I got kids and I got a wife and I don't want to be tied to real estate. So I'm part of the corporate team. So I'll meet with people, I'll talk with people, but when it comes to showing them homes, I use the corporate team to leverage the showing agents, right? I leverage the transaction coordinator, right? So I don't go out in the field and show homes. I leverage the team assets to be able to do that. So that's what allows me to have more freedom in my life. But I've been doing this for 20 years. So I have the ability to give up some of the commission to get my time back because my time is more valuable than the money, right? So if you're a solo agent and you're doing great, but maybe you could do better on the corporate team because you have a better quality of life, then we just get you switched over. And then we plug you into our database and we build your database of the 400 people. Plus, when you do floor time, if you want, then you come to our office and you have access to the 40,000 people or the 90,000 people in our database. You start plucking people from that corporate database and you put them into your own agent database, right? You just set up a call time on our calendar, which we all use, Microsoft Office Calendar, and we have a dedicated room here. You just go in there and just start plucking people from the 97,000, right? Probably pluck the people that are recently on the website and probably are looking at homes that you can help. Like here's one right here, 599,000 is the price range, right? And start plucking them.
Just remember, Mr. Terrell, that there's a different fee structure if you're part of a team or if you're a solo agent. So that also, you should take in consideration.
Right.
Like you said, it's based on your situation. And just wanted to mention that.
Right.
Remind you.
Okay, thank you. That's open up one.
Well, here's what we do. We make everything easy. So if you're on newhomeprograms.com, pretty much any page, right? You can go down to the footer and you see right here, it says chat with the broker. You can click on it. And then what it's going to do, it's going to index my calendar and you're going to see open spots where you can schedule a callback. So if you're interested in anything, maybe you just want to work with our lender, you want to work with our insurance people, you want to learn more about the credit, whatever you want, click on it and then go ahead and book a callback. And if one of our agents introduce you to the opportunity, then just go back and talk to them, ask them questions, and see what they think. So this is just an information, meet the broker session to give you information on who we are as a company. I also would recommend, maybe go on to our social media, newhomeprograms.com. Take a look at the type of stuff we do at marketing, because honestly, a lot of real estate agents are taught to set up their business page. But the honest to God truth is, most of them don't even have like 100 likes on their page, not even 100 followers. So it doesn't even make sense for you to post stuff on your page if you don't have people following it. So what we do is we post all kinds of stuff that's relevant that you can also use to share on your pages, like your personal pages, if you like. For example, we got the blogs. Like here's a blog right here that we produced, right? You could just copy, paste it, share it, say, put the blog out there and use it for lead gen, because what's going to happen is every single page on our website, blog or not, if you put your first name at the beginning of newhomeprograms.com, then it's going to be branded to you. So no matter what page that a person clicks on and fills out a lead form, it's going to go back to you. Okay. And then also go check out our YouTube page. We have hundreds of video testimonials that if you're new in the business and you don't have testimonials, then you can simply say, well, here's a new company that I'm working with. Listen to what these people say about the company that I work for. We have tons of those videos out there that are professionally designed videos that you can use as well on YouTube.